Hello, friends. The generation about which it is often said that this generation is useless will not become anything. This very generation, this very youth, has brought down the government in Nepal. Nepal's Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli has been forced to resign. Now the protests have reached such a level that even the Prime Minister's house has been set on fire. The parliament building is engulfed in flames. The finance minister was dragged onto the streets and beaten with shoes by protesters, and in all this, an unfortunate death occurred. The wife of a former prime minister died when her house was set on fire. In such a situation, the question arises, what is the reason behind all this anger? Is it only because of the ban on social media that we are seeing all this? The answer is no, friends. The reasons are much deeper than this. Let's understand in today's video. This is the story of 8th September 2025. In Nepal's capital Kathmandu, thousands of people had gathered to protest. Most of them were young people of 20-25 years. Students, some in school uniforms, some in college dress. This protest was organized by an NGO named Hain Nepal. Protesters were marching from a symbolic monument, Agar Mandal, towards Parliament. The march was almost completely non-violent and peaceful, but the government deployed police to stop the protesters. The police started using water cannons, tear gas, and rubber bullets. Soon, clashes erupted between the police and protesters. Some protesters even entered the Parliament complex. But then what the police did shocked the whole country. They opened fire with live bullets. At least 19 protesters were killed. More than 400 were injured. These were not rubber bullets, but actual bullets. Among the dead was a 12-year-old child. Obviously, after seeing this kind of dictatorship, no one would stay silent. As soon as this news spread, more people came out on the streets to protest. The number of protesters increased rapidly. The entire streets were filled with people. To maintain control, the government imposed curfew at 3:30 p.m. But nothing worked. The protests spread further. Not only in Kathmandu, but also in Pokhara, Butwal, Bharatpur, and Damak, protests broke out. The most talked about reason in the media is the ban on social media apps in Nepal. In reality, friends, this is one reason. But there are many bigger reasons: corruption, government mismanagement, rising unemployment, and nepotism of ministers. Let's first talk about the social media issue. In November 2023, the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology ordered social media companies to do mandatory registration and establish local presence. The government said this was necessary to stop hate speech, fake news, fraud, and crimes. 5 public notices were also issued, but except for 5 small platforms, no big company registered. The only big name was China's TikTok. Meanwhile, Nepal's Supreme Court also gave permission to ban those platforms that refused registration. Then on 28th of August this year, the government gave a deadline: register by 3rd September or get banned. Most companies did not register. As a result, 26 platforms were banned from Nepal, including Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, Snapchat, and Twitter. Almost all major ones, except TikTok. Protesters say the government did this only to control platforms and suppress people's voices. The ban is against our freedom of speech. They want to control us like dictators. On social media, videos exposing corruption and nepotism of ministers were going viral, showing their children's lavish lifestyles. The youth of Nepal are already angry about corruption, unemployment, and economic inequality. In 2024, Nepal's youth unemployment rate was 20.82%. That means 1 in every 5 young people was jobless. New jobs are hardly being created, and people are forced to migrate abroad. The situation is so bad that thousands have even gone to Russia to fight in the Russia-Ukraine war. By February 2024, more than 15,000 Nepalese had joined the Russian military. After only weeks of training, they were sent to front lines. Many Nepali citizens died there. Why do they take such a risk? Because in Nepal there are almost no opportunities, while Russia gives lucrative offers. Some fighters said they earn up to 4,000 a month including salary and bonus, over 5 lakh Nepali rupees. Now imagine, instead of showing sympathy, Nepali politicians' sons started showing off their luxury lifestyle. Pictures of leaders' children abroad at parties with collections of luxury items went viral on social media. The irony fueled more anger. Soon hashtags like Nepo kids and Nepo babies trended. TikTok was flooded with videos comparing the daily struggles of common Nepalese with the lavish lives of politicians' children. One poster in the protest on 8th September read, "Politicians' kids return from abroad with Gucci bags, ordinary kids return in coffins." Apart from this, corruption is another huge issue in Nepal. The youth are frustrated with the same 70-plus-year-old politicians rotating power again and again. In fact, in March, another protest happened where people said Nepal's experiment with republic has failed, and maybe it should return to monarchy. Remember, before 2008, Nepal was a monarchy under King Gyanendra. After the 2006 democracy movement and Maoist insurgency, monarchy was abolished on 28 May 2008, and Nepal became a federal democratic republic. But in 17 years of democracy, the government has changed 13 times. The same few leaders rotate: Ali, Prachanda, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Sher Bahadur Dubba. Alliances are made and broken, and all these parties and leaders face corruption allegations. Dubba, Nepali Congress, accused of illegal commissions and aircraft purchase. His wife, Foreign Minister Arzu Rana Dubba, accused in the fake refugee scam. Prachanda, CPN-MC, accused of diverting Maoist funds. Ali, CPN-UML, accused of violating court orders and converting tea estate into plots. Other PMs also accused of misusing public land. Since 2006, there is a practice in Nepal that no politician will be investigated for policy decisions. This immunity has encouraged unchecked corruption. Now imagine, amidst inequality, unemployment, corruption, nepotism, the government also bans social media. This became the tipping point. Tourism, a major part of Nepal's economy, relies heavily on social media for outreach and bookings. The ban disrupted it completely. Families abroad couldn't even contact their loved ones due to messaging apps' ban. An estimated 7 million Nepalese live abroad for jobs and studies. All this fueled protests further. And when people peacefully came on streets, the government reacted like an authoritarian regime. No protest allowed, shoot at people. The government even defended its actions with the nationalism card. We will not allow anything against national interest. But eventually, they had to bend. First, the Home Minister resigned. The social media ban was lifted. Yet protests didn't stop. Protesters set fire to the homes of the Prime Minister, President, and even opposition leader. Army helicopters had to evacuate ministers. Finally, on 9th September around 2:00 p.m., Prime Minister Ali resigned. As of now, when I am making this video, protests have not ended. People are demanding systematic reforms. The army chief has addressed the nation, calling for peace. Nepal is a live example of what happens when the voice of people is crushed, and real issues like corruption, nepotism, unemployment are ignored. This is a lesson for all governments. Never ignore the people so much that the situation explodes like this. Because once it does, bringing back control is very difficult. Some anti-democracy groups may now push for monarchy's return. But that is not the right solution. Any solution must come within a democratic setup. I hope Nepal finds a peaceful and long-term solution.